What's up, and welcome back to Opposites Attract Podcast. This is Sonja Ramirez, your girl, and I'm sitting next to
Miguel Ramirez.
What's up, everybody? How is your day?
How was your week?
How is your life?
Going.
Woo! So listen, buddy. After our intro, I need you to get
You want
into.
applause?
I want applause
From the studio audience?
Yes, I do.
One day. Oh, wrong one. There we go.
Yes, there we go. So this week on Opposites Attract Podcast, So Miguel and I have been chit-chatting about our podcast.
You want me to give you
Lots
music?
of individual. Yes. No, it's not sad. It's happy.
Oh.
I just want our listeners, you all, to know that we've been talking about, because Opposites Attract has so much, right?
Yeah.
We talk about marriage. We talk about parenting.
Yes.
We talk about finances. We talk about shit that's happening in the world. Like it's everywhere. And everyone's been telling us that we need to niche down. But it's about us.
Yeah.
Right? And everything that's happening in our life. And we also focus on getting guests, that can provide valuable information to you all. But the one thing that we decided.
We did? I have no idea what the hell you're talking about or where you're going with this. I'm just along for the ride.
Our listeners,
yes.
You all.
You guys.
Okay, you all. Every week.
What?
Can know without a doubt that you are going to get some information on marriage and parenting.
Okay.
Every week.
All right. Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And
that's good.
Yes. And I think, everything else will fall into place, because in marriage, finances is a big thing.
Parenting. Yeah. It's all.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
So do you agree now?
Yeah, I agree. That's good. So we'll think of something.
Yeah. And if, you're not into the finances or politics or the shit that we talk about, you can just forward on through the episode.
It'll just be something helpful. Something helpful.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Who is messing with my mic, man?
Man, these kids are always touching shit.
Shoot, for reals, because it's like.
Always touching shit.
All right. It's all gravy.
Probably should have did that before the show started.
So what we're going to do.
Hold on. Let's wait.
We had a parent-teacher conference.
Yeah.
For Joey.
Yeah, this past week.
Yes. And it's just always good to know or to hear.
Last week or the week before, we talked about how we had a parent-teacher conference. But that was different. That was like a WebEx meeting.
Yes.
But this time, we actually went to the school and sat with the teacher.
Yes.
So, yeah.
And while we're sitting there, our little one is actually doing the conference. Like, he's the one going over, how he's doing and his. Go ahead.
No, I was talking to my mom, and it was like conferences are different today. Did your parents or did your mom go to any parent-teacher conferences? Do you remember any of that?
I don't remember.
No? Because I hated them. Like, I mean, obviously, I wasn't a very good student, so I didn't want my parents going or my dad talking to any of my teachers.
And that's why he remembers.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't a good experience.
And my mom said, I think her experience might have been similar.
Really?
But, well, I mean, maybe
that's
just,
so funny.
Getting into stuff and talking to people or I don't know. But back in the day, like, the kids weren't in the conference because my mom was telling me that she wasn't in the conference. Her parents, actually, she was telling me that they didn't even go to the school. They would stay home with like her and her sisters while my grandparents would go to the conference. So you're just sitting home, shitting your pants, waiting for your parents to get back from the school.
If you were a bad kid.
At least that's what she told me. And well, similar situation for me, but I remember either being home or standing outside the door of the conference because I would be right outside and they would go inside, close the door, and I'm just like, shit, I wonder what the hell they're talking about in there.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Yes.
But with Joey, like he presented the parent-teacher conference, like how he's doing.
It was so cute because he did it all himself.
So he evaluated himself.
Yes. And he was so confident.
Yeah.
You know, like he was confident, and I can see the change in him.
Yeah.
You know, and I thought I was doing pretty good.
Yeah.
Right? I was like, okay, I'm flowing, I'm doing well, or I'm not flowing.
Yeah.
You know?
You were keeping it together.
I was keeping it together. And then the teacher started telling us how great of a kid we have. You know, how kind he is. And how he thanks her for teaching him.
Yeah. And then Sonia.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Dude, come. I looked at you and I could see your heart.
You know what? No, I did. I felt really good. I felt really good about it too.
Yes, I just express my emotions through tears.
Like, you better not fucking do it. Don't you better keep it together.
I was trying. I was like, I think I'm gonna sneeze. I'm holding it in. That's why these tears are rolling down.
Yeah. But it was nice. It's nice. I mean, as far as like the academics goes, we still have to help him with certain things. But more than anything, he's putting in the effort.
Yes.
He's putting in the work. She said that he has like no missing assignments.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that he turns things in on time, and he's trying, and he takes ownership for his mistakes.
Yes.
That he's very
Which
kind.
is great. Yes.
So yeah, it was really cool.
You know, and what I've noticed is that it really starts at home. Listeners, it starts at home. I mean, there was a point where, you know, we're just really busy. You know, we're entrepreneurs. We have so much going on, just like you all, I'm sure. But as parents, you do have to step it up. You know, the mannerisms, the just, you know, him being kind and accepting responsibility, and us not protecting him from, you know, making mistakes.
Yeah, and it does come from, I mean, I see you do it when you're talking to people, when you're dealing with people, you're very polite, very professional. Like, I mean, you're good with people that you deal with. Mm-hmm. You know, and I try to do the same thing when I'm dealing with somebody at work or whatever. Like, you hear me when I'm working from home, like I try to make sure that they understand that I appreciate what they do for me, and that, you know, whatever, just, yeah.
And we've talked about it, just taking responsibility, like allowing the kids to hear us apologize to each other. Right. I think it's huge. And also apologizing to others as well.
Yeah.
Yep. You know, and them witnessing, seeing it, hearing it, and then witnessing them do the same thing.
Do you remember what the teacher said at the end? Because we were pretty much so the way the conference worked is that every subject he kind of graded himself, right? So he gave himself a grade, and then he shared all of that with us, and then he showed us examples of his work. And then after he was done talking about all his different subjects, then at the end was his report card.
And just so you all know, Joey is, well, he's 9, but he's going to be 10. He's pretty much 10 years old. Yeah. So anyone listening, you know.
So yeah, at the end of his kind of self-evaluation is his report card. And then at that point, his teacher takes over. And actually, he's doing he's doing his little presentation as part of a communication grade or speaking and listening or something like that, right?
Yes.
So then the teacher takes over, and then he has his actual grades. And then that's when she started explaining, and his other teacher was there too, kind of talking about him. But while Joey was presenting to us, there was another family presenting there, and I wasn't watching what they had going on because I was paying attention with Joe. But at the end of our conference, the teacher told us, you remember what she said? It was about us watching Joe.
Oh, she said that she wished more parents would read with their child.
Well, it's just, I think it was more because when he was presenting, like both of us were watching and like paying attention to what he was saying, helping him, you know, just being there for him.
Yes. Yeah. It's being aware. It's being present. It's stepping back and just being present with, with Joey. And I think that's what it is. It's putting the phone down, parents.
Yeah.
It's putting your work, it's separating your work and everything else. Like when it's time to be a parent, it's time to be a parent. And it took me some time to learn that, because I am an entrepreneur and I have multiple things going on. And it took me 2 car accidents. It took me, you know what I'm saying? It took a lot for me to wake up and to
Slow
recognize, my priorities and put my priorities straight, right? Like family, business, even our marriage, or all of it.
Yeah.
And I think that just recognizing that when you are with your kids, you're with your kids. When we're having dinner, we're having dinner. No electronics on the table, no answering the phone unless it's an emergency or something's going on, but it's like just taking that time and being there.
Yeah.
And I think that's maybe what she had mentioned, right?
Yeah. Just I think it's just being there and paying attention, and just giving them that undivided attention, not doing other things. It's just like watching and being there. And
what we've learned about Joey is that his love language is positive affirmation. It's affirmation.
Words of affirmation.
When he does something, and it doesn't matter how big or how small, it's telling him how proud we are of him.
We knew he could do it.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. And this is why we pushed you. This is why, because we believed in you and we knew that you had so much more to give.
Yeah.
And it's.
Yeah, he does like that.
Yes. And when a mistake is made, he's already hard on himself. So instead of being like, Joey, it's more like, hey, listen, it's okay.
Yeah.
Like we're going to work through this. We're going to get through this, and paying attention to what motivates him. Yeah. Like he said, he, at the end of the conference, he requested us to give him more screen time. And I think the teacher, when she heard that, she looked at us and smiled, because that's a good thing. So
there's with the screen time.
Is to minimize that screen. Yes.
Yeah. So, and this is the thing. This is like where I guess we can kind of talk a little bit about the flexibility and rewarding him for having a conference that, having a great conference, and not wanting to give him a lot of screen time, because we don't.
Right.
Because there's some things that Joey needs to catch up on. And I've told Joey that until you catch up on this, and I'm talking about, you got to know it inside and out. Mm-hmm. You're not going to get unlimited. Like it's not a, you're getting multiplication factors. Yeah. You're getting minimal screen time until you're caught up. And, but we just had this conference, and they said that, he's kicking ass, like in all areas. And even if he's not, he's getting better and he's trying, which is that's like, it. If you guys listen, that's what we want. Yes. We want the effort, and he's putting it in. So it's only a matter of time until he really just like it clicks and it's over. Right. Right. And actually I was talking to him about that earlier in the week, because we were working on some stuff, and I told him about his sister. I'm like, look, you remember your sister? She used to have a really hard time before too. I was like, but now we don't have to give her a hard time. If something's happening, we just tell her, hey, get on it. Like, what's going on? Whatever's happening, you need to fix it. Yes. And then it's on her to fix it. Yes. I was like, once you're going to get to that point, and you'll be fine. Yes. But, so after the conference, we decided that we wanted to, so the screen time, right? Mm-hmm. We're not going to give him unlimited screen time. Well, really ever, but it's going to be very limited until he's caught up. But right after, he was going to go play with his friend. And this is right after the conference. And it's kind of jacked up. Like, he already knows the rule. Until you have it down, you're not getting it unlocked. Mm-hmm. But what am I going to say? No. Like, yeah, it's a Friday. It's a Friday. Right. It's the weekend. It's like, you had a great conference. Everybody's talking about how great you did, but no, you can't do that. Right. And it's like, you know what? How about this? For the rest of the weekend, from now until Monday, you'll have it unlocked.
Yes.
Have fun. When Monday comes, it's on again. We're back to work, back to normal, and then we'll make adjustments or whatever. If he has another big day or something to celebrate, then we'll do it again.
But you know what's so cool about that is that we opened it for him, but he's in the backyard right now swimming with his cousin.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. And not only that, but they were playing soccer just a little while ago. So it's not like he's like, oh, I got all this time. Like, this is what I'm going to do all day, every day.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, he loves to go outside and play. And that's the thing. Like,
That's cool.
What I love about like our kids is that, you know, even my daughter, our daughter, she's not hooked on her phone.
No.
You know, they go out, they will ride their bikes, they'll go skating, they'll go play at the park. They are not indoors 24/7. Like, go be kids, climb a tree, break a bone. No.
Yeah.
Go have fun, get out.
Yeah.
You know, and that's something that I try to be, or I'm aware of. Like, where are they?
Playing.
What are they doing? Are they outside? Are they getting, you know, go out and get some sun, go do something kind of deal. Go, you know, out and break a sweat.
Yeah.
You know, but it's just being aware, because sometimes us as parents, we get so caught up in our own thing, right? We get so caught up with what we're doing, or we want to have some free time. Therefore, whatever it takes to get that free time. There's times where I've seen parents
just give them
here's
the
my
device
phone.
or unlock it.
Exactly. Yep. And have at it so that you can do what
you want
to do. But that is not a good thing.
Yeah.
You know, and it all depends. Like, if you're at a restaurant and you have a crazy kid, give them a phone.
That reminds me of that video with that guy that had his little daughter outside the Walmart, and he was talking about that with the parents giving the kids the phone, just said they would shut up, but then they're watching stuff that they're not supposed to be watching.
Yes.
They're getting into stuff that they shouldn't be getting into.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So after the conference, so for those of you that that have been listening for a while, you guys know Joey. I mean, for being a 9-year-old, the way he eats, like, his palate is kind of weird, because he has like the palate of an adult.
Yeah, he does.
You know, he likes crab legs. He likes oysters.
Oysters, like sushi. Raw. You guys like oysters. He will chew the oyster.
And he'll put lime on them, hot sauce, salt.
Or just eat it by itself.
Yeah.
And he likes his salmon, like salmon with a little bit of salt.
Yep.
That is it. Don't add no lemon, just a little bit of salt. He's good to go.
And one of his favorite things, or maybe like his favorite thing, is sushi. He loves sushi.
Yes, yes.
And it's not like the California roll or whatever. He likes like
straight
real
up
sushi.
Yes, yes, yes.
So after the conference, one of my friends told me about this sushi restaurant that they have like this little conveyor belt.
Super cool.
And they just make it, and they put it on the little plates, and all the plates are color coordinated. So whatever you grab, they just charge you at the end. And it just kind of comes around the tables. All the tables are next to this thing, and you just grab it off of the belt and eat whatever you want. So it's kind of like a little buffet thing.
He absolutely loved it, enjoyed it, and thanked us.
It was cool. It was fun.
And thanked us for taking him. And afterwards, we took them for ice cream. And guess what his favorite ice cream is?
Vanilla.
Plain
as shit. It's crazy. He likes oysters, sushi, all this other crazy. But when it comes to ice cream, vanilla.
Yes.
That's it.
So we have a 10-year-old, and we also have a 12-year-old.
Yeah.
And she's absolutely amazing. And those of you that are listening, if you have preteens, you understand there are some changes, a lot of changes that are happening. And I remember Adriana has never really cared for alone time. You know, and I decided when I was talking to Miguel that, you know, there were some things that we need to share, and some things that we're going through, some things that we're learning, and that are going to benefit all of us.
Yeah.
You know, there is no reason why parenting has to be so hard and hurtful and challenging, because it, you know, at times it could be hurtful. And
I had one of those, not hurtful, sad thought today.
A lot of times, you know, we take it so personal, and it's not even about us. Like, we need to get out of our own head and really just take time to do research on how we can become better parents, to understand why they're feeling the way they're feeling and why they're doing the things that they're doing. And one of the things that I kind of took personal was when she wanted her space.
Yeah.
She started to close her door. And I'm like, why is she closing her door? Like, I didn't like I was like, what is she doing? Is she doing something that she's not supposed to be doing?
Yeah.
Like, why is she closing her door? Do you remember that?
I don't
like
remember
she started
when
closing her door.
I don't remember exactly when it happened, but I mean, maybe that's something that you focused in on.
Yes. And I noticed that, I had, bought her a diary and this diary was nowhere to be found. Like I noticed, I'm like, because I would go and clean her room.
She had a good stash for the diary.
And yes. And I'm like, what is it? Like, what is she hiding? And us parents,
were you worried?
When you're not, I was worried about some of the things that maybe she was going through that she wasn't talking to me about. And I'm like, she talks to me about everything. So what's happening?
So you're just kind of wondering if there's other things that you don't know about.
That maybe I should know about.
Yeah. Okay.
But reading, as we were doing research, I found that it's just their age. They need the space. They need some time alone. And it's not that they're keeping anything. Well,
or do they all keep things?
I mean,
from every parent.
This is the thing.
Because, sometimes we think like if they're keeping things from you, we're doing something wrong.
Mm-hmm.
What if that's just preteens? What if that's all what if you're the greatest parent in the world and they still keep stuff from you? What if that's a thing? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, when there was this thing that I was reading that stated that at that time, there's so many changes going on within.
Yeah.
Hormones, right? They're starting to develop. They're starting to feel things that they've never felt before. They're starting to feel uncomfortable with themselves. And there could be some things that are happening at school, like maybe they're being teased or, and sometimes when they're going through this, they start to feel sad and they're not sure why they're feeling sad.
Yeah.
And sometimes they're going through things that they feel ashamed of, like just, especially with girls. I can't even talk about boys. I don't know about you, but.
And that's probably something that you don't want to talk about. Things that you're ashamed of.
Right. And at times, when sometimes they just need their space, and it's as parents, we have to be able to allow them to take the time that they need and not, I know some parents that have taken down the door because they didn't approve of the door being closed. But with Audrey, she's never given us a reason to distrust her. Do you understand? Yeah. She's never given us a reason to distrust her whatsoever.
Yeah, it's kind of like how we've talked about, like treating them as they are, not as you hear most kids are.
Right.
Like we know how they are. Mm-hmm. And we shouldn't treat them like every kid lies and every kid does this, every kid does that. Well, that might not be your kid. Your kid's different. And if you pay attention, you'll know.
Right.
But I think that also has to do with kind of something that you talked a bit about a few weeks ago, where it's like the kids there's always somebody in control. Like for us now, like even when you're at work, your boss is in control. And if you don't feel like doing something in that moment and your boss says, hey, guess what? It doesn't matter. Go do it. Well, guess what? You have to go do it. But once you get home, you're the boss as the adult. But the kid isn't. They're never the boss.
Right.
Until they move out.
Right.
So when we feel overwhelmed, when we're frustrated, when we don't want to be doing stuff, it's like, you know what? I'm fucking done. I'm going to take a break.
Right.
And there is nobody that's going to come and interrupt my break, because if I feel like it, I'll just tell everybody, just leave me alone for a while.
And imagine when you're home though, too, and you're feeling that way. But if I didn't give you your space, how would that make you feel?
Yeah. And then when you have a parent that sometimes we don't
and
get
you're
that,
a kid.
And you're like, what's up? What's going on?
Exactly.
Hey. And it's not, and it's like,
no.
I just want to be left alone.
Yes. And when that is voiced, because I remember one time she told me that, and I'm like, but I'm your best friend. Like, I'm your mom. You tell me everything kind of deal. You take it personal. And there were times where I did get hurt, and it wasn't about me. It was just respecting her space, like giving her that time, because maybe she went through something at school and she doesn't want to share it because she's embarrassed.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like just giving her that space to, you know, and respecting that and say, okay, you know, I'll, you know, when you're ready, you know, I'll be downstairs.
Yeah.
It's just leaving it at that and allowing them to come to you when they're ready.
Is that something that you have, that eventually you grow into, like understanding that people need their space?
Yes. Because you and I
was about to say something.
yes,
I was about to say something.
Because I want to resolve any issues now.
This was a long time ago, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So Miguel and I, back in the day, listen, there were times when we had a disagreement.
And we didn't handle it the best way possible.
No. And we're at it. And I'm like, no, we need to talk about this now.
Yeah.
And you were like,
I'm done.
yeah, like,
I'm done.
And to me, I'm like, you're a fucking asshole. Like, that's what I was thinking. Like,
yeah.
Well, fuck you then. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like back then, I wasn't all, I was like, what what? Excuse me kind of deal?
It wasn't a fuck you then. It was like an I don't give a shit. We're handling this now.
Yeah, that's me, because I didn't cuss and I wouldn't tell him that, because then forget about it. It would have been on. That's pretty much
what it was, though.
Yes. And I had to learn, and I don't know what got me to, you know what it is? I probably started reading marriage, like books. Yeah. The Bible. I started reading because I was just like, this does not feel good. Yeah. You know, like I want to resolve this now. But you needed space. You needed time to calm down, to get your thoughts together. Right?
Yeah.
And so I had to learn to give you that space, to give you that time.
I think for the person that needs, at least maybe in my case, but for the person that needs space in that moment, it's about trying to keep control. It's trying not to lose control.
Yes.
You're trying not to lose control. And for Audrey or for a preteen or whatever, they may be emotional and they're trying to maintain control and just not break down and become a mess.
Right.
They're just trying to keep it. And maybe like during the arguments, it's the same thing. It's like, look, we need to stop now, because past this, I'm not, you know, a little bit past this point, I'm just going to lose it, you know? And then that's when things that you regret happen.
Right. Right.
You know?
So it's respecting boundaries, whether it's your significant other or your child. It's
Look at that.
Giving them.
We talked about this in the beginning of the podcast. That you guys were going to get something useful, didn't we?
But it truly is, because even though you are the parent and they are the child, right? And they are supposed to do what you say, and they are still, they're little adults. Yeah. They're little adults. And once, you know, we all learn to respect each other's boundaries and give them that time, you know, and give them their space, they will come around.
Yeah. It's crazy.
It is.
You know, like that conference, that was one of those parenting moments, man. I don't think I'll forget that. Like, it's with each kid. With Audrey, I've had it. You know, we've both had it when it starts finally clicking and you just feel like,
yes,
oh, all this is finally, like, I can see light at the end of this tunnel, you know? But everything is going to be good.
There's another stage.
I know. There's
different stages. There's different stages. And it's just being ahead of the stage, like reading, listening, you know, to books, reading articles, like just because, listen, I'm sorry, but just because you're a parent doesn't mean you're a good parent. You know, it is what it is. And it's like, whatever it is that you want to get good at, you got to learn. You got to learn, and you got to do the research, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like, even though you were raised a certain way, doesn't mean that it was the correct way. It doesn't mean that it was the right way.
Yeah, there may be a better way.
Yes.
And giving kids everything that you didn't have may not be the best solution either.
And you know what's so crazy? So before, when she was 10 going on 11, there was a time where she wanted us to give her to be there. There's times where she was like, no, I'm fine. I need time. But that's not what she wasn't speaking her truth.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? It's like, you
That's
got to know
saying.
your child.
Yeah.
You got to know when they really need space, because there's times where they're telling, like they're kind of pushing you away, but they actually need a hug. Like they need you to hug them. They just need you to sit there and shut up and hug them.
Yeah.
Right? And then there's times where they're actually needing space for you to give them the space. Walk out the door, close the door.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's weird because it's like a woman. I was never, I don't think I was very upfront. Like when I needed attention, I'm like, motherfucker, give me attention. Yeah. When I need my space, get away.
You'll grab my hand and start rubbing. You're like, hey,
I'm like, rub me
come
here.
Start
like,
rubbing.
Yeah. But some women are, like, get away, but they really want you around kind of deal. You know what I'm saying? Like they're acting. Yeah. I don't even know how to explain
reverse
that.
Psychology. You guys are good at that.
Yeah, but
no,
I wasn't that way.
Kidding.
Not when it came
Take
to
it easy.
my,
Holy shit.
I spoke my truth.
All right.
Shoot. No, but there's some women that are like that. It's like you got to know your woman. Yeah. To know what she really wants, but I wasn't one that made you guess. No. I would tell you what's up. Yep. Like, but it's kind of the same thing with the kids. Like you got to know their personality. You got to know when they're speaking their truth, and when they actually want the space versus not wanting the space. Yeah.
And that's all through paying attention.
Yes.
Paying attention. You gotta just be around and learn that stuff.
And know your kid.
Yep.
Yep.
So that was cool.
Yes. And so, Adriana and I, we went Halloween costume shopping today. Yeah. And that was a whole lot of fun, just spending that quality time with her. It was just her and I. And I love the fact that she is 12 years old and she still wants to hold my hand in public. Yeah. She does. Like, that's cool. And it feels so good. And that's when I recognize and it feels good because I know that we're doing good as parents. Yeah. That's good. And that's the thing is like all we can do is do our best.
Yep. And you know what? I wanted to mention something that happened today. I don't think it's not a big thing, but it's just something to be aware of. And it has to do with that article that my mom had sent us a while back. And, something we've talked about on the podcast, but as kids get older, there's things that you may not even know are happening for the last time. And today actually it's been happening more recently, but today I went to go do something with Audrey and I went to go tickle her and it was just I was
just going to talk about
it was just like, no. And she's like, no, it's not, like, leave me alone. And then the other day I was going to do something and I wasn't tickling her, but I was doing something, just kind of bugging her, messing with her. And I was like, no,
Yeah. You're kind of, okay, so what happened was they were upstairs. We were watching a movie together, and Adriana came to give us a hug, and you started kind of playing with her like jujitsu, like kind of putting her in a hold. But she was wearing
wearing shorts.
Listen, daddies, yes, listen, daddies, because this is something that you can take personal. But I am so proud of you. Like I am so proud of you because you're catching on. Like you're catching on. You're recognizing it. You're not taking it personal. Yeah. Like you did before, but it's listening to their tone, watching their body,
their body
language, and just being in tune with your child. But when you started she was wearing, her booty shorts because she was about to go to bed, and that's, she sleeps in it, and she had a big sweater on, but there was, a move that you did.
Yeah. She came to give me a hug and I just grabbed onto her. Like,
yeah. And you knew you caught it, and you did it the other day or just today. Cause I watched you. Like, I think you poked her on the side or something.
I was tickling her.
Yeah. And she was like, Dad. Yeah. And then you said,
like, you're too big or something like that.
No, you said,
I can't remember.
Yeah. Like you recognize it. And she's like, yeah. Like she was truthful. She was honest with you. Yeah. And then you guys hugged. Like she was like, cause she don't want to hurt your feelings. And she hugged you.
I know she doesn't want to hurt my feelings.
And it was great to see that because I can tell like she's just, coming more to you. Like that bond is strengthening even more because you're starting to recognize and listen.
Yeah, but in that, no, and that's I mean, yeah, I don't want her to feel uncomfortable.
Yeah,
with me,
and it has, and again, dads, it has nothing to do with you.
No, and I love her. I don't want to.
You know, they're developing, they're feeling certain things in their bodies, and you know, certain things are tender, and it's uncomfortable for them, and so it has nothing to do with you. You know, our jobs is just to recognize, to love them, to understand them, and to give them that space when they need it.
Yeah. But in that moment though, I was thinking about when they were little. You know, when they were little, we had like tickle time. Yeah. And it's crazy because like we have videos like saved on Facebook memories or on the computer or on the phone or whatever, and they'll pop up and it'll be like this. We have this huge couch with the big ottoman, and when the kids were little, they could run around the couch and run around the ottoman, and I used to catch them and throw them, and then I'd just be tickling them. It'd be tickle time. So for, I don't know, 10 minutes or whatever, like, and I would grab them and tickle them. And then today, that's what I was thinking about. I was like, shit, like tickle time may be over with
Not
Audrey.
Really? With that massage gun we got?
Yeah, with the massage gun. That's a fucking massage. That ain't tickle time.
But he tickles her.
But you know, that's just what I was thinking. I was like, you know, tickle time may be over with Audrey. I was like, because I was like, now she's only going to get bigger. You know, she's only going to grow more. So it's going to be weird for me to throw her down and start tickling her.
Right.
I was like, well, Joey, I probably have some tickle time. But the thing is also is they get bigger. When they're little, I want to grab them and throw them around, and they love it. And they want to do it. Right. Then they start getting bigger and they still want to do it. And, you know, they're not light little kids anymore. I can't pick them up and start throwing them. So I start getting tired quicker. And then after a while, it's like, all right, tickle time again. Right. You got to enjoy that. But you don't even realize it. That's right. You don't realize it. Tickle time is not going to be around forever. That's right. Yes. Yeah. And that's why Joey still sleeps with us today, you guys. Like, seriously. I was talking to my mom about that. Yep. One day I woke up and my little girl who would beat me up in bed, and for me, I was just like, I'm such a light sleeper, and it'd be so annoying, you know? And I'm like, Adriana, you got to go sleep on, you know, in your own bed. And one day I woke up and she wasn't next to me. That's why it has to be so different between the first kid and the second kid. You always hear that. Mm-hmm. It has to be, because everybody's like, how come the second kid always gets to, like, it's like the second kid's life is different than the first kid, you know? Because like with Audrey, we realize she's not going to come sleep in our room that much anymore. Right. It's like, he's going to not want to do it anymore. Right. So let him sleep in there for, you know, until he wants to leave. Right. And that's what it is. Right. Yep. And he was, you know, they were both thumb suckers. Unless we keep busting out kids. Check this out. They were both thumb suckers, right? Adriana, I put a stop to it right away. Yeah. Right? Like, nope. Okay, we went and got this little gadget from the dentist, and boom, she was done. Yeah. Joey, he was our last baby. He's still at it today. That's funny. You know, but it's just, man, take in those times, take the time that you have right now, because, you know, they're your babies today, but before you know it, they're grown. Yep. And the little things that, you know, that before used to maybe be a hassle, like brushing their hair, combing their hair, or taking them baths, you know, one day all that stops. Yeah. So it's like, enjoy it while you can. Yeah. You know? Yep. So I think in the past I had talked about this book called Untangled that I had started checking out, and we've talked about in the past, and I think in one of the last couple episodes I had mentioned like how I think a lot of times it feels like for parents or parenting or a lot of things, like we're looking stuff up after the fact. It's like when something happens, then we look it up, and it's not like, this is going to happen, so this is how you should be prepared for it. Right. You know, it's like, oh, what the hell do we do now that this is happening? And this book Untangled is, I think we mentioned it back then, but we didn't read it back then. We stopped for a little while, but it's right where we're at today. Yes, it is. And we have this book on Audible, which you guys can also find on Amazon. And if you guys would like to pick it up, you guys can go through our Amazon link. You guys can go to our website, oppositesattractpodcast.com. And if you go to it on the website, you'll see the support the show tab at the top. If you're on your cell phone, you can hit the menu button and you'll see the support the show tab. But on our website, you can find all of our social media. You can listen to the podcast there. You can watch it there. But when you hit those tabs, it'll take you to our Amazon link, and you can go shopping on Amazon for whatever you normally buy, but it doesn't cost you anything extra. It helps out the show whenever you do it through the link. And you can find our merch, our t-shirts, pop sockets, phone cases,
yes,
all that kind of thing. And you'll also, on our website, you'll find a link to Trust Inc. And Trust Inc. is?
We are a nationwide mobile notary agency and signing agency. So if you are in the process of purchasing, selling, or refinancing your home, you can request Trust Inc. to be your signing agency.
Yes, and you can go to Trust Inc. directly by going to trustinkusa.com. And we're also affiliates with Libsyn, which is who hosts our podcast. If you guys have a hobby that you've thought about turning into a podcast, if you have something that you'd like to put out there, and you've thought about podcasting, you can use promo code OAP. OAP with Libsyn for Opposites Attract Podcast, and that'll give you the rest of whatever month you sign up in for free, and the next month for free, just for trying out Libsyn, promo code OAP. And we're also affiliates with Pinwheel, which makes they make a smartphone for kids. It's pretty much the best smartphone for kids out there. All their apps are picked by therapists. They're all kind of monitored, or they make sure that all these apps are not going to suck the attention from your kids, that they're not going to get hooked on it.
Yes.
That there's no way for them to get out and onto the internet and onto things that they shouldn't be getting into. You can monitor their text. You have to approve all the contacts that are in their contact list. I mean, I even had to add the police in case of an emergency, because that's like, we have to approve literally every single person that goes into the phone. If you guys would like 10% off of a Pinwheel phone, actually, they did something about the sponsorship. It's a little bit different now, but anyway, whatever. Go to pinwheel.com. If you guys are interested, come back next week and we'll have it all figured out. But yeah, check out pinwheel.com. They got the best phones for kids out there.
Yes. Good job.
So this book, I mean, I'm excited because it's like what we're going through.
Man,
right
it's
now.
real.
And I think you got ahead of me already. So
I started listening to it.
I'm telling Sonia, I'm like, you got to listen to this book. You got to listen to this book. And then she freaking took off.
Yes. It's just this. If you have a preteen or a teenager, this book is a must. It is an eye opener. Let me tell you.
Untangled by Dr. Lisa D'Amour.
Yes.
Guiding teen girls through 7 transitions into adulthood. So what really caught my attention in the beginning of the book was that she was saying that, and you could probably talk about it more because you've listened to more than I have, but she was saying that kind of like breaking down a girl's personality into 7 different areas. And that sometimes when they're having trouble, or it may seem like they're having trouble in one area, it may not have to do with that. They may be good in that area. It has to do with they're acting out in this area because of something that's happening in a different area or something like that. But there's different things, and you have to know that you can't treat issues with different areas in the same way. Like they all have different, it's all different.
Yes.
And you have to learn about all of them.
Yeah.
So I'm excited about that.
Yeah, no, definitely. Like I said, get the book because there's a lot to it. I don't want to spoil it, but we can talk once you catch up. Maybe we can go a little bit more over.
Yeah. Because I'm still in the very beginning. But
But I wanted to talk a little bit about marriage. We've been together for 13 years.
Yep.
And somehow, well, I know how, we've been able to keep it hot in the bedroom. Like we still we still want each other. We still crave each other. And I hear from just others, that it's not the same.
Yeah.
That it's not that they don't feel that they're wanted in that way behind closed doors. Like the fire has burnt out.
Yeah.
And the other, I don't know, it's been a couple weeks, not since we've done it, but
yeah,
the last time you had, told me like, you're like, you're sexy, babe.
What? Oh, okay. Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
And that made me feel good. It made me feel really good.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, and I tell you that as well, I'm like, baby, you're hot. Like, it's just, you know, but I say it more often than what you do.
Yeah.
And I knew that you weren't just saying it because of the faces you were making. Nah. But men, this is the thing. Like, you have to connect with your women on a mental level.
Yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
That's just how we thrive. And I think that because men and women are so different, like all I have to do is touch you and you're like,
walk by. You walk by. I'm like, oh shit.
But for women, it's more inner.
I know. I gotta
it's
put
like
in some work. I gotta go.
That's right. It is work, motherfucker. Work.
I'm just kidding.
You know, but it is. It's like, you know, if you you feel that, you know, you've lost that connection, an easy way to gain that connection is to smack your woman on the butt and say, dang, baby, you look great today. You look
we
good,
talked
babe.
about this, grabbing tits and touching dicks. Remember?
Yeah, but yeah, we haven't talked about it.
It's been a while. That's going to be the name of our tour. Yeah.
But it is so important to make your woman feel, especially, you know, I'm 44.
That's
you
a
know, I'm
t-shirt.
not 24. I'm 44. You know, so making your woman feel good just takes a little. It's not a lot of work.
Yeah.
It's giving her
Dang,
compliments.
girl, something. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, like today I caught you looking at my ass when we were at Sprouts. Was it
I know.
Sprouts? And I'm like,
Or was it Walmart?
What are you
we were leaving
doing?
Walmart.
no. Wow. But, you know, and you make her feel good. You're going to get what you want.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
it's like
Why wouldn't I? Like, yeah.
mentally, you know, your woman needs to hear that. She needs to feel sexy. She needs to feel like you still want her. You still crave her.
Yep.
You know, so it's not that much work.
Are we turning this off right now?
In a little
No, we
bit.
turning this off. What's happening?
But I just think that, you know, for my marriage tip for the day, it's like, take some time, tell your woman how great or how hot. And it's not, oh, you're cute. You look cute today. Oh, you look pretty. Nah. Hey, bitch, you look hot. No,
Hey, damn. hey, bitch.
I'm just kidding. I'm being naughty today.
Oh, my God.
I know, right? My language is like kind of.
I'm going to tell you that. Hey, bitch. You're going to be like, who the fuck are you talking to?
Right. Yeah. No, I'm just playing. But, you know, tell her, dang, babe, you look hot today. Dang, babe, look at you. Look at your butt. You know, you're a sexy beast. You know, like talk
Hey,
to your
bitch.
woman. Right.
Oh, fuck. That's what Sonia said I should tell you.
Yeah, no.
That's what Sonia said.
I know, right? We're going to be getting all kinds of comments like, girl, don't be telling
That
my
shit-
man to call me. No.
Post it on the podcast on the podcast group if it didn't work for you. Hey, for those of you that are in the podcast group, I hope you guys have enjoyed a little bit more of the interaction.
Yes.
Sonia's been in there putting up some posts.
Check this out.
And I hope that you guys have, checked out some of the articles because we've posted some of the articles from the last that we talked about on the last podcast.
Yes.
And Sonia also posted a great one in there.
Yes.
So
Read
go in
those
there and check it
articles.
out.
Anyways. Okay, so that's my tip for the day. Okay, guys, you got it. I hope you took notes.
Back to the nonsense.
Okay, yes. So Miguel, the other day, I'm getting ready in the bathroom, and I look over and I see the cat brushing her teeth with Miguel's toothbrush. Like, seriously, she's biting it. And I tried to get a picture, but I was too slow. I couldn't get it, but I got it close where, you know, if you look at the picture, her nose is like touching your toothbrush. Well, it happened again. So let me tell you, it didn't happen once. It happened twice with just me in the bathroom. And she's always in the bathroom. So you know what? My friend said that your mouth is going to be smelling like, did you read the comment?
They got pussy cat mouth, pussy mouth or some shit.
But I got the picture, you guys. So if you want to see it, join our Facebook group page because I got it in action.
Yep.
I got proof that your cat has been brushing her teeth with your toothbrush.
Yep. That freaking cat. Dude, that was supposed to be your cat. That was supposed to be your cat.
I know. I don't know what happened. You and Joey like took over.
Yep. So a couple podcasts ago, we were talking about how we've been watching these old movies. So we were watching Beethoven with the kids.
Yes.
We watched American Pie recently. That was funny.
Yes.
I forgot how funny that movie was. That shit
I
was
love
funny.
that movie. That was one of my favorites.
Yeah, and there, you know what we were talking about? Like there was a whole bunch of movies in that area. We got to watch some of those. But we watched Big with the kids with Tom Hanks.
Okay, you guys.
So Big was like, when did Big come out? Let me see.
That's an old movie, but let me just tell you, listeners, you gotta watch that movie
1988
again.
Yeah. You guys gotta watch that movie.
And that was one of my favorite movies when I was younger.
So you know what?
So
I never watched that movie.
What?
I had never seen that movie until we watched it together.
Serious right now?
I
thought I asked you and you said yes.
I thought I had because I remember seeing the ads and the billboards with the big red ball.
Yes.
I thought I had seen it. It was not what I thought it was.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So
it was my idea.
Dude, I enjoyed
to watch the movie with the kids.
I enjoyed the movie and it creeped me out.
No, for real. I didn't see it that way.
Let's explain a little bit about what Big is about. So Big is about these
Tom Hanks, by the way.
So Tom Hanks
main
is in
character.
it, super young. Check it out. I mean, he's awesome. Awesome actor. But anyway, you guys already know. So it's about these boys, and one of the boys goes to a carnival, and they're 12.
10.
They're 12.
Oh,
they're 12.
That's right.
12, 13.
Yep. That's right.
Right?
That's right.
They're 12 and 13 years old. And one of the boys goes to a carnival and he puts like a quarter into this fortune telling machine or something like
Grants
that.
him a wish.
And when you put the quarter in, if you shoot the quarter into the little fortune teller's mouth, then you make a wish. And it dropped a little card afterward that said your wish has been granted or something like that, right? And the boys, spoiler alert for the fucking movie from 1988.
Oh, no. Yeah. But, I'm sure you've all seen it.
But so he
wakes up.
His wish was that he wanted to be big.
Yes.
Hence the movie, the name Big.
Yes.
So he wanted to be big, and the next morning he wakes up as an adult.
Mm-hmm. He freaks the crap out of his mom.
So I don't remember exactly what. So he wakes up in his house. His mom freaks out that there's a
chases him.
There's a grown ass man in the house. But he's young. He's probably like in his early 20s, and when he wakes up the next day, so he gets chased out of the house. But his best friend, who's still 12 or 13. Right. Like he ends up running into him and he freaks him out, but he ends up convincing him like, hey, and he finds out like
a song that they know
that only they know. And they, obviously if you're little kid best friends, like if Joey told his best friend, like, dude, I love ketchup. I will drink it. And then he would be like, holy shit, that is Joey.
Right.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So it was kind of like that. So he talked to his best friend. He figured out that it was him. And I don't remember exactly how, but now that he's big, he ended up getting a job at a toy company. Yes. Somehow. I don't know how that happened. But anyway.
Because his friend said he needed to start making money.
So what did he respond to? He responded to an ad and interviewed.
Yes.
And ended up getting a job at a toy company. Yes. And obviously, this dude, he's kicking ass because he's an actual 12-year-old working in a toy company. He gets promoted into like marketing and all this other stuff. But little by little, he starts forgetting how to be a kid, and now he's making money.
And he meets
a girl.
This girl. Mm-hmm.
And she starts liking his innocence.
Yes.
Which is fucking creepy.
Yes.
Which is fucking creepy.
But she doesn't know he's a kid inside.
Yes. No, she doesn't. She doesn't.
Yes. And man-child. That's what he was, a man-child.
So, yeah, but
she's trying to get freaky with him, and he's like playing. He's like ticklish.
So they have a sleepover.
Yes, and he has bunk beds.
An adult sleepover. Yes, right.
Yes, but she was trying to get with him, but he's a child.
Well, this is the thing: is that they never really said what it faded out.
Yes.
In that scene, and they were still both awake, and at the end of the scene. It's not like they had laid down to bed or some shit, right? It was kind of like open for interpretation or something like that, right? So when they got back to work, like her coworkers, like, did you sleep with him or something like that? And then at that point, I'm like, hold the fuck up. Like,
right.
This kid's like 12 or 13.
Right.
And at the end...
And she's a grown-ass woman, okay?
So then at the end of the movie, like, he's telling her, like, look, I have to explain something to you about what happened.
He's trying
and she's
to
like, what are
speak
you
his
talking
truth.
about?
Yep.
And his friend's like, dude, you forgot where you came from.
Yep.
Like, you want to be an adult now. We're supposed
Yep.
to be kids and best friends forever.
Right.
And all
Your
this other
mom
shit.
misses you. Like, what am I going to
Yeah.
tell your mom?
So they go back to they find the machine, the carnival machine with the fortune teller and all that shit. So now he's talking to this girl.
Yes.
And what was it that he asked her? He asked her if she could become, or if she would become a kid with him. Mm-hmm. Right? And then I'm thinking to myself,
Miguel and I are looking at each other, okay, like, this is a sick movie.
I was like, hold the he's asking this grown ass lady to turn herself into a 12-year-old so that they could be together as kids. I'm like, this is fucking weird.
Right.
And this is something that I don't think you caught. But during that scene, they were having a really like romantic scene on this little boardwalk type thing in front of this machine. And then he was saying something about like that he was going to turn back into a kid, right? I think he may have already done it or whatever. Like once he fell asleep and woke up the next day, he was going to be a kid again. And she said something. Now, keep in mind, he's probably like 12, 13.
Yes.
She's like, you're probably going to forget about me as soon as you turn back into a kid.
This was...
And I'm thinking to myself...
I did not. I caught that, by the way.
Did you?
Yes. No, I caught that.
I was like, there is absolutely... After the night that he had with that girl, there was no way
he was going to forget.
He was going to be forgetting about her. He was going to be remembering her for a really long time.
Stop. Anyways, when I'm watching this movie as an adult, okay, because when I was a kid, it just did not connect. Okay, it did not connect. Yeah. You know, I was thinking different. I was thinking different. Now watching it as an adult with Audrey, I'm like looking at you like, this is a sick movie. Like, this is... Dude,
there's a bunch of movies from back in the day that are like that.
Even cartoons.
Yeah.
Even cartoons. I'm like, what the heck? These cartoons are for adults.
I've talked about this before. Dragon Ball Z is fucked up. Like, for anybody that grew up when I grew up, like, if you watched Dragon Ball Z back in the day when you were a kid, if you haven't gone back and checked that shit out, dude... Just in case you don't remember, the old dude with the fucking turtle shell on his back and the sunglasses, that dude is a straight up perv. Like, he is a perv in the cartoon for kids. I was like, like, I thought with the kids one time, I was like, you know what? Let's put on Dragon Ball Z. I used to watch that when I was a kid.
Yes.
And I put it on, I'm like, what the fuck are we watching?
I never watched Dragon Ball Z. So when I saw that, I'm like, what are you watching?
Yeah.
What do you have my son watching? Like, this is not okay. Yeah. You know, but too, it's because we are all sissies today.
That shit would not be allowed today, right? You know what I'm saying?
Like,
you couldn't make that.
When we watch older movies, I'm like, did he just say that? Like, it could be a racist comment or a sexist. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, this is not okay.
Yeah.
To tell a woman what? You know, but it's just because we are so soft these days.
There were some things in Big Two like that, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Even with, what was that, Kid and Play? House Party?
House Party, yep.
Yeah, like even some of the things in House Party, I was like, wait, what did they just say? You know?
But yeah. No, it was a good movie though. I liked it. Even though it got weird, I still liked it.
No, yeah. No, we got to, I told Audrey, I'm like, Beetlejuice. I want to watch Beetlejuice with Audrey.
Yeah,
now, I don't know how that's going to go.
Yeah, sometimes we got to go back and watch these movies before we watch them with the kids.
Right. You know, and it's like, some parents think that PG-13, you know, like I don't know whether we shelter our kids when it comes to stuff like that.
I don't give a shit.
I just want them to have their innocence for as long as possible.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want them to be gullible or...
No, but there's things that they don't need to know about yet. They'll have their whole life. They'll be aware. And once you are, you can't go back.
That's right. Because once your eyes are open.
That's it.
That is it. And you know, that is so true. I remember them telling us that in Legal Shield. Like when they were teaching us about finances and personal development, like once you learn,
Once you know, you know.
That's right. That's right. And there are some things,
And if you don't know,
then you don't know. Like
now
there
you know.
are things that you are unaware of. Like you were talking about it when we were talking about parenting. It's like sometimes we go through things and we read a book or an article after the fact. Like, oh shit, if we would have known this, we could have helped her with that. You know, or we could have prevented some things. You know, it's like we're always after.
Yep.
We're learning after.
We're like a step behind.
That's right. And so it's like, but it's because you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
But once you know it, there's no excuses why you're making the same mistake over and over again.
Yeah.
And you will continue until you learn.
Yep.
And that's it.
Dang it. So yeah, I don't know if you got anything before we get out of here. Is there anything that you wanted to?
Time?
It's almost pretty much.
Almost time?
Is there anything that you wanted to cover?
I just want to, this week.
Yeah.
So as I mentioned before, we've always been entrepreneurs, but you have a job and I've been continued just to do my thing.
That's been the plan. Yeah.
And I had a friend who asked me if I would like to work at a title agency, for a couple days from 8 to 5. And when he said from 8 to 5, and he's a really good friend of ours, so he needed my help. So I'm like, you know what?
Let's do it.
I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
But the thought of working in an office from 8 to 5
like a job
got me sick. I'm like, ugh. Well, yes, because I'm so used to owning
Just
my time,
doing your
like
thing.
yes, And so
It's like
I
you're
decided to do it. And I enjoyed
Did
it.
you?
Like I missed being in an office environment.
Yeah.
And I love the people that I was working with, and then I got to run the business there because I had time in between appointments to run the business. So it was, it was cool, but I can tell you that, it's cool for 2 days out of the week.
Yeah.
But I'm so used to just doing me that I think I am unemployable.
You're an entrepreneur at heart.
That's right. Like,
That's it.
I am unemployable,
And, before we get out of here, we can talk about something that I've been wanting to talk about. And having to work like a 9 to 5, like that's for a lot of people, that's great. That's fine.
Right. You got to know you.
And you know what? That today is it's a normal thing, for most people. But like I've talked about a lot on this podcast, these are all things that people have made up.
What are you talking about?
Like the systems, like a 40-hour work week, how much we get paid, like for what you do. I mean, I can't remember who I was talking to, but there's so many, we've mentioned it here so many times that there's so many different ways to make money. It doesn't have to be one way. It doesn't even have to be the notary business. I mean, shit, you can do it so many different ways.
Right.
But the reason that things are the way they are is because there's been a consensus, like everybody agrees that this is how it's going to be when it comes to our schedules. And like, how come it's like this for most people around the world? Like it's a similar schedule, I think a lot of times is because if a company tried to get you to work more and pay you less, you probably wouldn't. You would lose your mind. You would go crazy if you had to work more hours and not make as much. Like if you had to deal it, like for some people that have to work a lot of hours, maybe they make the money that for them justifies putting in that much time.
Oh, gotcha.
That's the only reason, because if they didn't make that much money, they'd probably go crazy too. Like it's all a game.
Right. But these days, and I'm sure, a lot of our listeners, like there is a plan B. Like it seems like a lot of people are waking up. In COVID, listen, I know there's some shitty shit going on because of COVID, but I also know there's some good shit happening, but not a lot of people are talking about the good shit. But people are starting to become more aware. They're starting to wake up and they're doing something different.
Yep.
And now that people are aware that they can work from home, a lot of people are now working from home. Not only that, but it saves the company money. It saves you money because you're not driving. It's saving you the time between the drive. And if you have that ability to work from home, a lot of people are going that route. And not only that, but a lot of them got to taste how it feels or how it is to work from home. So now they're striving to become more independent. People are becoming entrepreneurs. They're selling stuff on Amazon. They're out there doing, Uber Eats, or you know what I'm saying? Everyone they're waking up.
Yeah.
Their priorities now are, you know what? It's not about the money. It's about time. It's about having that freedom.
Exactly. The freedom, and it's not just free time, because right now we're going through things in the world, things in the country where, I mean, we've talked about it before with the vaccines and all that kind of stuff. If you're not for all that, guess what? If you work for a big company, or I mean, you don't even have to work for a big company anymore.
Let's not get into this right now. We don't even have time.
But this is the thing, is like that might be one of the reasons why people are like, you know what? What if I could do my own thing? Because that way I don't have to be part of anybody else's stuff. I just make my own rules, make my own money, and do my thing.
Yeah.
Doesn't seem like such a bad option.
And this is the thing. If you're for the vaccine,
then go
I
get
love
it.
you. If you're against the vaccine, I
Then don't
love
get
you.
it.
It's like pro-choice.
And what?
Pro-choice, pro-life.
I don't know, babe. Yeah. But yeah, it's. Yeah.
It is what it is.
Do what's best for you and your family.
Exactly.
That's it.
You know? And with that, we love you guys.
Thank you for listening. Make sure you guys go to oppositesattractpodcast.com.
Yes.
Share it with those that you know.
Yes. And thank you for watching Opposites Attract Podcast.
Where we get better
together.
Bye.